All right, folks, good Monday morning. Let's get airborne with our solo Amazon brief. Excuse me. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Watched a lot of college football. Tried to get flying, but didn't work out because there's just too much devastation gone over on the West Coast, and most of the airports are closed, just completely leveled. Admin items. What do we got going on? Normal week. First time we've had a regular solo Amazon in a long time. I appreciate all your flexibility for the past couple weeks. Next week, I'm actually going to be in San Francisco. So Monday morning, I'm still going to do solo Amazon, man. It's going to be early out in San Francisco, especially after Air Show Sunday. So I'm going to speak on the commercial energy. Commercial energy is a big California company going to, they each year for the air show, they rent a big like triple decker, one of those big ass party boats. We go anchor off of Alcatraz, and I kind of narrate the Blue Angels performance, which is pretty cool. And I also the Patriot jet team is performing, which flies the L-39, which some of you have flown in, and I fly. And one of my best friends flies the lead solo for the Patriot team. So I'm excited. I gotta write that down. I got to get his routine down so I can talk about that. So I'll be out in San Francisco Saturday, Sunday, Monday-ish thing. I think I get back Tuesday. But okay, let's get airborne and start talking about some Amazon. It's been a while since we talked about some Amazon. Why? Because everything's moving. When everything's moving in tandem, whether it's bonds, stocks, crypto, you name it, things are about to break, or are breaking, or have broken, which we're going to get in to today. So we kind of know where we are. We're done with the bull trap and the return to normalcy. There's a lot of this starting to creep into the market. We're going to talk about Credit Suisse right now having kind of a 2008 moment. You want to talk about a potential black swan? It would be, when Credit Suisse has to come out, their boss comes out like, hey, this ain't 2008. If you're explaining, you're losing, type of thing. So the fact that dude had to come out and be like, no, we have enough liquidity. Everything's fine. Everybody relax. Bear Stearns-ish, Lehman Brothers-ish. Things are breaking, man. There's definitely cracks in this infrastructure. You sprinkle in some Putin, some Jerome Powell, some Europe, just shit show, you might start seeing a lot of this. So it's about to get really interesting, or it's already been interesting. Let me do a quick poll. I actually want to feel where you guys and gals are. So since it's the first trading day of Q4, getting ready for earnings season, we're in a October, welcome to October shit show right now, but we got earnings coming up, a couple Fed meetings. Q4 is going to be really busy. What is your Q4 strategic mindset? And unlike usual, I'm going to let you do two. So, and this gives me an opportunity to have a cup of coffee. I had a really good, shouldn't grade your yoga in the morning, but it was pretty damn good. When I have to sit down a couple times, she's kicking my ass. So that was pretty good. What is your Q4 strategic mindset? And we're going to have a rebound day today. I can't trade off the left side of the chart, but I was sitting here, I was itching. I'm like, maybe I'm going to do a bull put spread, man. This will be a rebound day. If you want to, today's a sniper shot to the bullish side. We're going to have a rebound day. All right. Bullish, bearish, volatile, or neutral. Only half of you voted. I don't know what the other half of you are doing. Pay attention, sit up, and answer the question. Bullish, bearish, volatile, or neutral. 61% have voted. Okay, about 15 more seconds. This is interesting. Well, it's not interesting because I feel the same way. So, all right, 3, 2, 1, we're done. 75% of you voted. The other 25% need to put some pants on and pay attention to what's going on in the brief. So here we go. Let's show you what it says. 13% are bullish. 8% are neutral. So we got neutral to bullish. That's about 21% saying, hey, we're either going up or we're gonna hang, which is interesting. 47% bearish, and then 70% volatile. That's pretty that's pretty cool. So okay. First of all, the answer is yes to all of that. All right, let's close this and let's get airborne. Hey, real quick, we're going to do a kind of a sniper, but also a max afterburner and hunter's brief next Thursday. I was going to do it this week, but a lot going on. Let me share this with you. Copy event info. It's in the chat box next Thursday at 1. Okay, and I'm actually going to open up this up to my full list, and I got some folks mailing for this as well. You do not want to miss this brief, so make sure you register for that. Sliders 5 MEO journey that I did on Friday. That podcast should be dropping today. It's not up here yet. Don't know what's going on, but make sure you're subscribed to these either on whatever podcast platform you subscribe to, and so you get like an alert when his drops. Sliders 5. Each one of these Slider needs his own podcast. I'm gonna get Slider's own brief, man, because this is awesome. Each one of these is its own standalone, incredible talk with Slider. Just a great human being. So make sure you're checking that stuff out. Okay, here we go. Solo Amazon strategic brief. It's really interesting. First of all, let's pat ourselves on the back because we're awesome. We're good. We've talked about this since like day one. Reading in Axios today that Washington is kind of getting a murmur or a buzz of a risk of nuclear war over Ukraine. Who called it on day one? You know, it's just really interesting that, oh wow, and now politicians in America really starting to Vladimir Putin's nuclear threats are growing more direct as he's getting his ass kicked. So let's talk about tactical victories again. Who won the Vietnam War? The North Vietnamese. Who was winning the Vietnam War? We were. Lyndon Johnson lost the Vietnam War and McNamara, but here's what I'm getting at. Tactically, we were winning. Strategically, we got our ass kicked. What about Afghanistan? Well, if you ask General Petraeus and McChrystal and Hans, what his name is, the SecDef under Trump, all those guys, they either lied for 20 years or they were just shitty admirals and generals. We were winning in Afghanistan. Who owns Afghanistan now? The enemy. So, folks, don't confuse tactical victories with victory. Okay. So, after warning last week that Russia would consider using nukes, Putin added, "This isn't a bluff." You can believe whatever you want. I tend to listen to people, especially when they're nuts. The National Security Advisor, who should be in jail for the Russia collusion hoax, colluding with the DNC. They actually colluded with Russia, but that's okay. Conceded Friday, it might, not, there's a risk, given all the loose talk and nuclear saber rattling, that he would consider this. Oh. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I'm bringing this up right now, especially in Solo Amazon, is because you, me, whoever, if you think this is a possibility, I hate talking like this as Wiz, but I'm going to be Gordon Gekko right now. You go out because the winter is going to be a shit show out in here. We get paid to make money where, folks? Here. You don't make money off the left side of the chart. I'm still trying to find a broker that lets me trade off the left side of a chart. We make money in the white. Out here in the white, ladies and gentlemen, if you think there's the potential for that's a tree. That's supposed to be a nuclear cloud. And it's not going to be Hiroshima type of shit, folks. It would be tactical nuclear weapons, right? If they want to wipe out a city, they're going to do it. A couple artillery pieces, shit's gone. If you think that's anywhere possible, I was talking the other day with a buddy of mine up in Chicago. He's like, dude, we are fucking go put on a Bin Laden put, go put on a Putin put out to January, February. Go out right now, 500 points down on the S&P 500 and buy some puts. How many times have you heard about, even though it's sad, like in an absolute horror, it's like, geez, some guy made, $100 million on some puts or something like that. I hear about it all the time. So I would not be doing my job as a briefer when I brief you, not to point out potential ways to make money, even though it would be a horror. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's Warren Buffett at Berkshire or my buddy up in Chicago, he's like, no, dude, I got lotto tickets on out to February, March. Okay. Well, good question. I don't know. I do know. Let's go take a look. Let's look at pre-COVID, man. If there is you guys know how I feel about the S&P 500. 3,400 is my target tactically for the Q4. 2,500, 3,000's a round number, man. So maybe, but if in the future, because again, and I hate dropping anchor too long in my strategic brief on Ukraine, but you got to keep this shit fresh. When I'm on the boat, man, every day, even though it's the same beginning, the brief is usually the same, like here are the threats out of Iran or Iraq, you got to pay attention, man. Because if this happens, this will happen. And I'm here to train you on how to potentially make money on the stupidity of others. Using nuclear weapons in Europe would be stupid. The radiation, the deaths, the horror, don't get me started. But I'm here. I don't know, man. A round number is 3,000. Go out to, and I'm looking at this live. Go out to, I don't know, February, March. Let's go out to the regular February expiration. Let me scroll down and look at, like some 3,500 puts. Even though we're in solo Amazon here, folks, if or when a nuke goes off, Amazon's going to care about a nuke going off in Europe. I guarantee you. 3,000. I mean, you can start. I haven't even really started scrolling yet. 10,000, 12,000. These might be some of my buddies, man. I didn't ask him to strike. He's like, dude, I have massive lotto tickets, downside puts on. It's a little low class to ask sometimes. There's another 10,000. Oh, that's still October? Yep, sorry. Thanks, Frank. Because I select. Let me deselect October. Well, that should tell you something too, Frank, right? That's right. Wait, those are down at 3,100. There's a lot of put buying. That tells you something, folks. Holy shit, I got to scroll. $3,000. I buy some 3,000 puts, man. If you believe that, holy shit, man, the 3,000 puts, holy crap, man. These downside puts in the what? My one buddy, what's he always tell me? Wiz, why is the Ford expensive? Because it's worth it. Why are these puts expensive? Because they could potentially be worth a lot of money. God forbid. I always have to keep saying that. God forbid they're worth a lot of money, but not doing my job if you're not taking a look at downside puts. Okay. So that's me just, when you get Axios, which is a liberal rag, going, you know what? There's a lot of stuff kind of floating around DC that Putin might use a nuke. I'm like, let's talk through this, because this article, I can't stand Axios, but this was good. Putin seems to believe that if he can convince the U.S. he's going to use nukes, they're going to pressure Kyiv to surrender. But Kyiv recently said what? Not only hell no, but we're going to take those 4 regions you just said that you own, and we're getting Crimea back. Oh boy. The problem for Putin is that, yeah, they're not going to be deterred. But if they continue tactically to take territory he has claimed part of Russia, he might believe this is his only option. Putin's recent moves suggest he views this war as existential for himself, his personal survivor, his legacy, and his country. Yes, but we're not top of the escalation ladder yet. He could knock out electricity to major Ukrainian cities, conduct air missile strikes on sensitive targets, or even use chem before he goes nuke. But he believes, this guy, in the last 2 weeks, the chances of a nuclear strike have moved from single digits to double digits. Apparently, they attend my briefs. If he does use nukes, he could do a demonstration effect, detonate, maybe light off a nuke over the Black Sea or the Arctic, or use tactical weapons on the battlefield. But here's what's really interesting, folks. Did you hear Jake Sullivan? Did you hear the president? Did you hear us? We would have a swift and something response. I want you to sit up and pay attention to me. We wouldn't go nuclear in response. You fucking think? The fact that they have to say that if Putin used a couple tactical nukes in Ukraine, that's even, you guys even considered maybe like a couple of nukes back at Russia? Are you people fucking nuts? I'm getting ready to put my house on the market and go to Montana. I can't even believe I'm briefing this right now. But I can't even believe I'm going to tell you what else they're considering. But it could conduct a conventional military strike on Russian soil, perhaps targeting the site or the unit behind the Russian attack. Ladies and gentlemen, whether it's the Civil War or any war, this is how it starts. They'll never do that. Well, shit, they did. We better do this. I didn't think they'd do that. Well, the former deputy secretary of NATO said we would extract a strong non-nuclear response. Sullivan isn't saying what those things are. Ben Hodges, the guy who said you don't want Putin to go because the people behind him might be even worse, said what? The U.S. could destroy Russia's Black Sea fleet. However, that would risk a Russian counterstrike and potentially all-out war. The fact that I'm sitting here briefing this in the VIX at 30 or whatever is insanity. When I tell you that something's insane, you should sit up and listen. You should buy VIX calls and you should buy S&P 500 puts, folks. This is getting worse and it's getting nuts. Can somebody in this room explain to me that if he used a tactical nuke, an artillery nuke or something like that, against a non-NATO country, that the United States of America would attack Russia? Is anybody in the room okay with that? Because I'm not. Why do we have NATO? Why do we have NATO membership? Now, this is getting insanity, folks. In Washington, Putin's nuclear threats stir growing. Where you been, Washington? For the first time since the Cuban Missile Crisis, government leaders in Moscow are making nuclear threats, and Washington are finally gaming out scenarios. We've been doing that at TGO since day one, folks. But, I got out as a lieutenant. I'm an idiot. But so, folks, this is the article I was trying to tell you about Washington. So I can't even fathom what is going on. But guess what? Our weapons storage facilities are we're out of ammo, folks, which is great for the defense contractors. Let's keep funneling money to kill more human beings. Let's keep supporting Raytheon, General Dynamics. Let's make javelins. Let's make stuff. Henry Kissinger, ladies and gentlemen, this is great. Love him or hate him, Henry Kissinger has been awkwardly frank amid the neoconization of the ruling elite in the last year. Isn't it incredible? A Republican like me is like, hey, man, let's throttle back. Let's try and avoid a nuclear war, or let's try and talk a little bit of peace. And you got Democrats frothing at the mouth. Exactly, Dave. Our strategic reserve is emptying. We're running out of weapons. Hey, China, are you paying attention? I hope the Ukrainians will match their heroism they have shown with wisdom. Now everybody's going to attack Kissinger. This guy's been around the block a little bit. He saw no choice but to take Putin's stated security concerns seriously and believes that it was a mistake for NATO to signal Ukraine is going to join the alliance. I thought that Poland, all the traditional Western countries that have been part of Western history were logical members of NATO. Me too. But Ukraine, in his view, is a collection of territories that, once appended Russia. If you know anything about World War II history, where Ukraine currently is, man, so Kyiv, Kursk, all these massive battles between the Nazis and the Soviets, man. Stability would be better served by it acting as a buffer. I was cool with that. Ladies and gentlemen, you can track all of this back to Bill Clinton. Ukraine. Hey, we're leaving the Soviet Union. You guys suck. You fell apart. You have a lot of nukes on your soil. Can we have those back? No. Bill Clinton. Give the nukes back and I'll sign this piece of paper that says if Russia ever went against you, we got your back. You can track it all back to Bill Clinton. I was in favor of the full independence of Ukraine, but I thought its best role was something like Finland, a buffer state. Now Finland's joining NATO. So again, folks, I like to be independent thinker on these type of things. Can't stand, I'm not going to give you my anti-Putin speech, but it's funny that you have to lead with that. Like if you talk about peace or the potential bad right now, you're somehow a Putin sympathizer. I'm a peace sympathizer. The 99-year-old has doubled down, telling the Council on Foreign Relations that any attempt to remove Russia's historic safety belt was unwise. From the Russian point of view, how dare you look at somebody else's point of view? You're a terrorist. Okay. The United States then attempted to integrate this whole region without exception into the American-led strategic system. It was not a wise American policy to attempt to include Ukraine in NATO. Some dialogue, maybe on an unofficial level, maybe exploratory, is important. In the nuclear environment, such an outcome is preferable to a battlefield decision. I pray to God, folks, that in the background, somebody's talking. Somebody between Ukraine and Russia. I don't care if it's oligarchs, hell, we can't even send a former president. They're all idiots. Somebody stop this before it gets worse. And just, it cracks me up. The toughest people talking about this with the flags in their bios and shit like that. I'm like, you can join the Ukrainian Foreign Legion, man. Go fight. Oh, well, no, I just like to, virtue signal. Let me put a bow on the Ukraine thing. Go buy some VIX calls and go buy some disaster puts out 5 months from now, man. I don't want to be right. This is a North Korea moment for me. I want to be wrong about this, but I've told you since day one, if Putin gets backed into, I've read the books, folks. I was the adversary officer. They believe they can win a nuclear exchange. We think people are mad that believe that. So they won't, because they want us to be right with stuff. I'm telling you guys, I'm a Han Solo moment right now. I got a bad feeling about this, and I'm usually right with the bad feelings, whether it was freaking COVID. I will tout my horn a little bit. I'm pretty damn good with this shit, man. Got North Korea wrong, but I know for a fact dudes were in airplanes getting ready to go. And then what happened? Did I save that? Where is it? Donald Trump sent a picture to what's his name and said, no, I'm just going to kill you. I'm not going to kill everybody. So here we go. Let's get operational here in the United States. The Fed is starting to split on rate hikes as the chaotic market breakdown looms. This is the left side of the chart, I know, but we have to look at history for this. Every Fed tightening cycle has led to a crisis, period. All of them. Not once has the Federal, even Volcker, who took a bat and beat the shit out of the market. Every Fed tightening cycle ends in disaster and then much more QE, easing. There is no way, we've already crashed, folks, but there's no way that this plane, we're off the end of the runway. This is a very good read. I'm not going to dig into it, but if you're a booger reader and you want to read this, this is a Sunday couch good read here, or Monday afternoon. Let me give this to you. This is a great read about where we currently are, because it does feel a little like the Fed's starting, everybody is kind of asking, let me bring up the S&P 500. The market participants are asking what? We've been asking this for a while. How much pain will Jerome Powell allow us to endure before he steps in, before they stop? Is it here? Is it here? This is a big delta, folks. That is a lot of altitude right there. This is decision time, man. We had decision time here. Who wants a taper tantrum? We don't. Whoa. There's pain coming, American families. I didn't do this. You did it. Doesn't matter. You're going to suffer. Whoa. So cracks are, there are some Fed participants saying, yeesh, ooh. Druckenmiller last week, man. We are in deep trouble. I don't rule out something bad. This guy's an idiot, though. I would be stunned if we don't have a recession in 23. Welcome to the party, pal. We're in one, unless you support Joe Biden and the great redefinition. I don't know the timing. I do. I said Joe Biden's sophomore year would be a shit show, train wreck, recession, bear market. 4 of them. 4 for 4. I'll be not be surprised if it's larger than the so-called garden variety. A little late, dude. Credit Suisse, record low. Everybody remember this term? I do. I remember sitting in the train going from Naperville to the Board of Trade, Union Station, then walking to the Board of Trade. What's a CDS? Oh boy. Everybody remember that term from 2008? And then the CEO letter, like, hey man, we're all good. Everything's fine. This isn't 2008. Why does he have to say that? Holy shit. Unbelievable. This might be remember like last year or a year and a half ago, some dude, what was that guy's name? The Asian guy who had like margin accounts like at all these big firms, and each firm didn't know how much the guy was levered. What was the name of that thing? And he blew up like $100 billion. That almost, the apes, the Melvin Capital. Every time we've kind of, one of the books I kept was When Genius Fails, The Rise and Fall of Long-Term Capital Management. We've come very close to, if you wake up one day and one of these, this is how this starts, folks. This is how I was there. Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers. Hey, man, I just pulled all my shit from Bear Stearns. Whoa, why? I don't think they got the liquidity. You jerk. Why didn't you tell me first? Well, I needed to get my money out. Bear Stearns is whiz. Get me out. Holy shit. If you get a run on a bank like this, folks, this is, the CEO said the bank is at a critical moment. Oh boy. Unbelievable. So this is potentially bad. Yeah, there's a lot we'll get to that, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on this week. We got jobs on Friday, but let's keep going. Let's keep briefing, and we'll get going here. Google stock price falls as odds of recession rises. All the tech companies are getting hammered. We'll get to Amazon eventually, folks, but look out below. And we have earnings coming up. Amazon tends to channel going in. Look at this. What did I say last week? In the joint brief, I said 100. I feel Amazon 100 coming on. Easily 100. And then that would be a lookout below if it doesn't hold that. Anytime let's roll inverted real quick. We did this last week, but let's do it again. Let's roll our jet upside down. You bullish or bearish on that chart? Anybody see anything? That's called momentum. There's momentum up. There's momentum down. There's momentum up. We're inverted. We're doing the Blue Angel double Farva, right? Farva, if you watch that movie. That's insane. So a lot of the companies, but again, guys, I feel like a broken clock. Is this the earnings period where the market cares? Because remember, earnings are what? They're a month. It's not a single event. How many times have we seen like, oh my God, Amazon missed. It's down 5% after hours. Google crushed it. It's like, so it's not like somebody sits there and decides these earnings suck, we're going down. So, or have they lowered the net so much? The last earnings were not good, folks. This is what shocked me. It didn't shock me because Jerome Powell did this. Let's roll verted. Because the last earnings, folks, did what? That wasn't earnings. That was who? That was Jerome Powell. Who wants a taper tantrum? I don't. Earnings sucked. Did you not hear Amazon? We're not buying those 25 places. Did you not see Zuckerberg? We're getting rid of 10,000 of you. A lot of you shouldn't be here. A lot of you suck. We're not hiring 10,000 more engineers. The metaverse is a joke, literally. I'm not one of the 10 richest dudes in the world anymore. Things suck right now. Go find another job. What? Just about every company last quarter earnings said it's awful. What did the market do? Because of Jerome Powell. Are these the earnings that it goes, oh shit? I don't know. I feel it, but I feel like Lucy with the football. The last time I'm like, oh my God. Every earnings that was like, we're getting rid of people. You saw Jean-Claude Van Damme and Joe Biden do what? The job market is strong. I'm like, it better be. There's a lot of people getting laid off right now. So I don't know, man. It's not looking good. In your Ponzi scheme update, do you remember this stuff? I remember people were reaching out to me, dude, you need to do an NFT and this. I'm like, let me put this in my circular file of Ponzi schemes. NFT trading, divine 97%. I know a couple rich people that did go to Art Basel in Miami when this, remember like that, there was a great article in the Wall Street Journal that literally marked the top of this whole joke of NFTs and crypto. It was the Miami crypto convention. Like 3 people showed up for the 3-day event because everybody else was doing coke, partying, and out all night. Opelika Airport, all the business jets gone. The downturn has raised questions about whether there's a sustainable future. I bought this ape for $2.3 million. It's a JPEG. Yeah, but it's an NFT. Oh, well, since you moved your hands like that, I'll pay 2.3 million bucks. Gary Gensler coming on TV today and saying that Kim Kardashian has got fined 1.26 million bucks for unlawfully touting a crypto without disclosing she was paid. If I was her attorney, I would have gotten this thrown out. Mr. Chairman of the SEC, does anybody on this planet think my client does anything for free? Her loser brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law, I remember being at a Vegas club. Somebody's like, oh my God, Scott whatever his name is coming. I'm like, so? They're like, well, that's why we had to pay a cover. His appearance fee is like $100,000. I'm like, are you fucking insane? These people don't get out of bed for free. Trust me. And the No Fallen Heroes thing is a talk to a couple, trying to get some celebrities. I'm like, it's to save veterans' lives. It's a charity. They ain't a charity. Got it. So whether it's Matt Damon, whether it's LeBron James, fortune favors the stupid. So anyway, I don't like dancing on people's graves. I don't like people losing money. Matt Damon waking up this morning and seeing the news about Kim Kardashian. I love that. Karen, this is about all I know about the story, and it's comical. So if there's anything more than that, I don't know it, but I don't care. If you bought a cryptocurrency because Kim Kardashian told you to, I hope you lost every cent of your money. And I mean that. I actually do mean that. If you bought a cryptocurrency because she told you to, zero sympathy. Target. Target is having a deal day sales event to start October 6th. When is that? About a week before Prime. The discount retailers event comes about a week before Amazon's Prime early access sale. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Target starting to fish in Amazon's pond. Susie, I mean, when Keely and her friend were bored the other day because it was kind of raining, Susie took them to Target and they came home with a ton of stuff. Of course, they were shooting TikTok videos in the aisle, putting on Halloween. It's a thing. Just got to brief you on that's going. All right, so tactically, we're going to get into some trades. What did the ISM do? What did we do here? Hold on. Final was a little bit of a beat. ISM was a big miss. Construction spending. Wow. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, when you're talking about PMI, whenever you see this word, folks, PMI, like Tamara just pointed out, 50 is your Mason-Dixon line. Above 50 indicates expansion. Below 50 indicates contraction, recessionary. Go to the whiz section. Why traders care. It's a leading indicator of economic health. The construction spending that's a black. Oh man, this is so. We've talked about this, folks. I talked months ago about getting bearish on XHP. There you go. There's your real estate. There's your out of COVID. Yay, we're all alive. Boo. Look at that, man. Construction spending. What are mortgage rates at? The 30-year is like 7%. Holy crap, man. Getting bad. This is it. Well, we led the brief with this. There's a lot of cracking going on. We'll get jolts tomorrow, which is the jobs opening. A couple Fed lieutenants. Final PMIs for services. ISM. More a lot of Fed lieutenants this week, man. Friday, big day. Average hourly earnings, non-farm payroll, the unemployment rate. More Fed lieutenants. So kind of a choppy week of earnings. And then as Ponch pointed out a little while ago, we got financials coming up, man. So let's take a look at the XLF, even though that's an ugly looking chart, man. So the XLF is what? The ETF that tracks a lot of the financials. COVID, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, who would have thunk, besides us, who would have thunk that here's and I posted this last night in the Max Afterburner group. Damn it. I should go find it, but it's like, I think it was 5 trillion. It's like 5 trillion and then 3 trillion from So the government, it's like the Fed printed this much. That's all the COVID and, Build Back Better, or whatever. What an idiot Joe Manchin is. He just got loosey with the football. But ladies and gentlemen, it's like, I can't even fathom these numbers, but it's like close to 10 trillion is this. And we're doing this. All of that liquidity into this is getting sucked out. So can that happen? Yeah, it can. Why do you think Druckenmiller and all these 500-pound investing heads are like, we something bad's going to happen? Let me see if I can find it. Let me just if I can scroll up and find this, because the math was like insane. And I posted, I said, folks, this is kind of your Fred Sanford moment. Is that what oh, Christine, thank you. Maybe you found it. She beat me to it. Oh, yeah, it was Goldman Sachs. Look at this, folks. Excuse me. Goldman. Hey, guys, the S&P is trading below what? Where Joe started, despite 1.7 and 3 I got the numbers wrong. 1.7 and 3.5. I love when they lead an article with what I told you recently about, like, one of my sniper trades. I go, no. When you hear me or anybody on Wall Street use that term, don't do it, or sit up straight. So click on that. Thank you, Christine, for throwing this in here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're below where Biden took office. On my other chart, what did I draw repeatedly? This. I draw a delta underneath it. If you recall, let's go back. That's XLF. Let's just go back to SPX real quick. If you recall, right here-ish, I said what? I know what I said because I said it. We have another 10 to 20% to go down. Do you remember me saying that? Well, Wiz, you got that wrong. I know I got it wrong because what? Jerome Powell came out in that press conference as I sat here and typed and said, put your book, nope, done, being bearish. And a lot of you were like, nah, we're going to all implode. I'm like, nope, did you hear the guy? Listen to him. Listen to him. I don't want a taper tantrum. And then they fix that. So, folks, I am back right now to that. So I brought this up minutes ago and I didn't close the loop on it, but folks, is there a Powell put? Is there a place where the Fed just goes, holy shit? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I would actually I do know the answer to that. I know half an answer. The answer is yes. There is a level where the Fed's going to have to go, oh my God, yeah, this is the blood in the streets is awful. You get a Credit Suisse that blows up, or I mean, they're nuclear folks. The Fed did this because of what? A pandemic that turned out to be flu-ish. Even down here in Florida, we freaked for about 2 weeks and then did what? Done. We're living life. Sucks. You live your life. I'm in the free state of Florida. But what happened? I'll never forget that Thursday morning in a weekly debrief. We did what? Buy everything with both hands. What? It was the biggest financial nuke I've ever seen, and we never looked back. Jeffrey Gundlach in April, we're going back down to the March lows. Wrong, and he was wrong. So here's why I'm rambling about this. This was COVID. This was a scandemic. Boom in Ukraine. Boom in the market. Is that a Fed press conference? Like, well, the unprecedented world events and liquidity drying up, we're going to have to, I don't know, man. But for now, I think it's just, we're not going to get destroyed because we're going to print money off of it. How's everybody's Tredge doing? All right, now let's get to Amazon and SPX. Last week, we did what? How's your Tredge looking? By close of business on Friday, it was up like $3,000 or something like that. Last week in the joint brief, you were all invited here because you're in solo Amazon and you've been nice in your flexibility. You should have been up about $3,000. Now with a debit spread, what does Uncle Wiz like to say? When I pay for something, if I can make 50, I think it was up 50% because it was like $5,100 in risk, wasn't it? Right? The trade was, what was it? What was the trade? It was risking 52 to make 20. So by Friday, it was up about $3,000. So, if you can ever make 50% to 100% on your money, think about closing it. I think I typed that in the box a couple times. I'm like, eh. So my SOP on a debit spread, because you guys know my credit spread SOP, 7, 8, 9. If I'm looking at a 70, 80, 90% profit on what I got paid, close it. Don't turn a 70, 80, 90% profitable trade into a 100% loser. With a debit spread, I kind of go, anything north of 100 is insanity. So, anything, if you make $5,000 or more on but this is also why when I send out text alerts, I put the term maybe eject at this point. Why? Because I'm sitting here now. I'd maybe get out at 50 to 100%. But if I wake up one day and boom in Ukraine and the S&P is going straight down, I ain't getting out at 50 or 100% of this. I'm looking for that. So that's why the word maybe's in there, because you, as the on-scene commander, the pilot in command, have to go, okay. So I don't think this. This is today. If that SPX trend is maybe only up a little bit today because of this relief rally, don't worry about it. Look at this 6-day implosion, and we had that. Remember last week when we had that 600-point up day? I'm like, sell it, sell the hell out of it, sell the rips, do not buy the dips. You're going to have these things on the way down. You're going to have these type of insanities. Okay. Now, for the folks that are new to solo Amazon, let's bring up Amazon here. We currently have a long-term strategic trade on. I have to think, how far out can we go? Because the new series just came out. I have to think, folks. The yogi in me, the medicine man, the everything in me has got to believe that God has a plan and it's not super bad. I have to believe that. Joe Biden gone, Kamala gone, some sort of sanity in the world, people healing, whatever. Please, I'm trying to manifest that. I'm trying my best to help people heal and become better human beings after not being the best human being I could be. So we can get bullish all the way out to here, Jan of 2025. 2.5 years, right? I tend to tell people, if it's that far out, do you really care if it goes down to 100 right now or 60 or whatever right now? If you believe by all the way out to there, it's going to be up past where we are, higher, then you could do a long-term synthetic stock, long call diagonal, buy some calls all the way out into the future. Okay. I tend to tell people that. Why am I hedging here using the word tend? Because just based on my strategic mindset that I just got to, another 10 to 20% down from here, which is kind of what my mastermind group is kind of telegraphing as well. This would be one of the times that I drop the word tend and I'd say, I would wait. I can be wrong, folks. Wiz, you were wrong. It's we did a little bit and then, okay, give me the reason. Jerome Powell, the Fed ain't changing anytime soon, folks. If you do the math, we need another, every Fed meeting until March. I looked at the math yesterday, or somebody sent me the math, and it was, he can either do like 25 at each or a couple 70. They're still going. So don't give me this. Well, Jerome Powell, the only reason Jerome Powell pivots early is because there's a nuclear war in Europe, which that's going to happen first. So I'm not going to waste any more time. If you are in the long-term strategic bullish trade, we've been bringing in money every week doing what? Selling upside calls against it. So if you're kind of new to solo Amazon, do me a favor, go to the solo Amazon page and scroll down to kind of at least just get the training on it, right? Go down to where we put on the position all the way out into the future. I forget how far back it is, but it's a synthetic stock. Click on older entries, go out a little bit more, and take a look at it. I forget. But so here's what's interesting. As you look through solo Amazon for the past couple months, what have we been doing? hell, short calls, bear. So right here is a perfect headline. As Amazon's going down, folks, even if you have that long-term bullish position on, you can be making money on selling short calls against that long and also being bearish. So if you're like, Wiz, I'm going to go out into the future and put that on anyway now. Great. I tend to do that. And this is today. This market I'm feeling another 10 to 20 lower. This would be the time I wouldn't. You can do whatever you want because you can still make money and lower your cost basis as Amazon's going down. So we've done some good work making money as it's going. There it is. This was all the way back in the beginning of August, folks. We did synthetic stock at the 142.5 strike. What are we at right now? Holy shit, 114. So what are we going to do for this week? We're going to do the exact same thing we've been doing every week. If you believe that Amazon is going to, let's bring the chart in a little bit here. I think we were selling 135s for a while. I think we did 120s last week. This is a no-brainer, man. We've been making like $700 to $1,000 every week renting out our Amazon synthetic stock. And it was 5 contracts, right? I mean, we're up. This is a 1.5% pop today on what? Nothing. What's the good news today? There isn't any. It's your typical relief rally, just a trading day. I'd sell 5. You can't do this if you're not in that long. Exactly, Bob. We had the end of the quarter flush. This is the beginning of the quarter. Let's load up the sheets. I get it, but this isn't the beginning of the quarter. Is not a super day to do a rally. Let me grab a screenshot of this. But yeah, good catch. Yeah, the quarter ended on Friday. That was just brutal. Not for us though. We did my sniper shot portfolio is like up 83 grand year to date. Just my sniper shots. They're losing trades in there, trust me. But net being up about 83 is great. Karen, never a bad time for that word, right? Let's take Karen's comment and run with it. If you put an equal sign out here into the future and do that, sit on your hands. You ready for this? Cash is a position. 70% of you in this room put the word volatile. You voted for what? For Q4, volatile. If you don't like the swings and can't sit here all day, I don't sit here all day and watch this shit. I'd rather get my teeth drilled. If I'm going to snipe, it's usually a quick snipe, or it's a set it and forget it. Like, I'm gone. I'm okay with that risk. I'm going to go live my life, go to the gym. But Karen's right. That's a really steep decline from what did we top out at? What's that? 4,300, man. To last week, we almost got down to 33. I mean, 1,000 almost on the SPX. The rut, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't talked about the rut in ages, is getting destroyed. Or IWM, I got to do with this. The Russell, right? The Russell 2000. How many companies are in the 2000? The Russell is getting destroyed. Unbelievable. Look at Mike, $4,600 just trading sniper shots so far today. Like I said an hour ago when we started this thing, I'd be doing bull put spread sniper shots. All right, let's get back to Amazon because I got 7 minutes left. Supposed to go 30 minutes, but here I am venting. So we just talked about the calls. Sell some short calls. The 116s, I think we're heading down. But let's do a longer term. When are earnings again? The 8. All right, so they're estimated. They're not approved yet, or the company. The only place where you can find out where earnings are going to be is not your brokerage platform. You can trust it, but the only page that is 100% correct, unless they make a mistake, is what? The IR page, the investor relations page. So Amazon, I'm going to say, use the word tend. Amazon tends in the old days to channel into earnings. That was the old days. Now it doesn't. It moves a lot going into earnings, and I think it's going to be moving down. I think we start heading down to 100 here. This is just that is an ugly chart. So a couple things we could do. We could, hell, you could do a burner trade at this point. A burner trade would be a bear call spread up there, which is a credit spread. You get paid to do that trade. That bear call spread could pay for a bear put spread down here, which is a debit spread. There is your full throttle training in 1 minute. That is known as a whatchamacallit, burner trade. So let's look at a weekly bear call spread. We already did the 116 short calls. You could do it again as a bear. Let's look at a bear call spread out the Friday. At a minimum, what do I usually do? 50? Yeah, 35s, I think. No, that's way too much. So again, solo Amazon model portfolio is a $100,000 training account. My SOP says I don't want to risk more than 5% or $5,000 on that. That's my SOP. You have got to have an SOP that says what your max potential loss is in a credit spread. Let's go up. Let's give, just in case this rally continues, let's go up a little bit. I like this one. This is a little bit better. And if Amazon does kind of stabilize, I'd consider legging into an iron condor. Good question. The burner trade, if you're only in solo Amazon, you're not in the rest of the briefs for the week, but I would have a burner trade under the trigger because we got Fed lieutenants speaking all sorts of stuff. Because look at this. Let's go back to SPX real quick. This is when you have these like violent implosions. Yay, no, it's over with. Violent implosion. Yay, it's over with. In a volatile trading market, you have to have these under the trigger, right? And this is trading. This is not investing. This is trading. You have to have these under the trigger. If this breaks and we get another one of these violent leg downs, you go burner trade, right? We're doing a bear call spread right now, but if something breaks this week, you add a debit spread underneath it and pound it into the dirt. Okay. All right. So let me make sure my metrics are good. We could do maybe 80 contracts. Perfect, right here. All right, let's sell 80 of Friday's 117 calls. That's me saying that I believe that Amazon won't be $2.50 higher by Friday. Well, Wiz, what if you're wrong? Well, thankfully, I'm right more often than I'm wrong. But if I am wrong, we buy upside calls, right? If it starts just Amazon, Jeff Bezos turns out to be Ganesh and Buddha, and the stock rallies, well, hopefully we'll eject before that happens, but our risk is limited. I'm bearish on Amazon for the week. I'm using calls and it's a spread. This tactic is known as a bear call spread. It's also known as a credit spread because we're getting paid to do it. Down here, we're bringing in a credit as it moves around of about $2,900. Okay. So while we're here, we talk about the bad. Double the credit that you take in. 36 cents is 72. We'd love to have all 36 of those cents in our pocket by Friday. We want it to go to zero technically, but if Amazon starts rallying, this trade's going to increase in value, which is bad. We don't want it to. We want it to decrease in value. Theta, time decay. If it gets to 72 cents, that's where I use the word maybe. I'd maybe eject. Why do you use the word maybe? Because I need to know why it's rallying. Was it a one day, oh geez, and I can't explain. I'm not living in the future. I'm living right now. But before I ever squeeze the trigger on any trade, I know when I'm getting out for minimum loss or max profit. So let's talk about the bad right now. I'd maybe eject at 72 cents. Okay. That's good for this screen. As soon as you click on the analyze screen, the only place your eyes go here at Top Gun Options, or when you put the patch on your shoulder and you head out to the fleet, is max potential loss. If you stare at that number and go, oh my God, that better not happen, you are trading too many contracts. If you're looking at that and going, I can find that in my couch, trade more contracts. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm flying my own airplane here. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay. Once you put a check mark next to that and go, all right, that would suck if that happens, but I'm going to manage the trade. I'm not going to let that happen. Great. Now you can look up at Mr. Mrs. They Happy Face. It's Taylor from Axe Capital. You look at Taylor, and now you can go, yeah. Now underneath that, ladies and gentlemen, you see probabilities. Those probabilities are based on at the money volatility currently, as I'm rambling to you, in Amazon options. They change every second, these probabilities. This is not looking out into the future on Amazon. It's right now as I'm talking to you. With a bear call spread, we make money 3 out of 4 ways. About 2 cents wide. And good question. I'd go 37 plus or minus 3 cents, 2 to 3 cents. That's the range. Good question, Ann, because if it gets outside of that range for the day, I need to roll the strikes up or down. We'll talk about that in your full throttle training. How do I make money on Amazon? There's currently the stock price, that dotted line. Amazon goes down, we make money. Amazon stays where it is. Folks, it can just hang out until Friday. Unched on the day equals time decay. If Amazon is unchanged, we make money. How does that happen? It's not moving. Exactly. Every second that goes by that Amazon stays where it at, goes down or up a little bit, we also get a Greek called theta in the background. Hell, folks, Amazon can go up a little bit as long as it stays below that point on the chart right there, which is already calculated for you. It's called a break even. Amazon can go all the way up to 117.36 and we still make money. Wow, there's a 67% probability of making at least something on this trade. That's a pretty good looking trade. As I said, maybe I'd continue or consider legging into an iron condor this week, which would be a range bound trade. But it looks like the S&P is starting to roll over. Let's try and get this trade on before it starts really rolling over because it's probably already making money. Okay, yeah, oh shit, see? As I started, S&P's rolling over, Amazon's rolling over with it. So this is a great debate right now. Why do I put plus or minus 37 plus or minus 3 cents? Because of what's happening right now. If it's outside of the range that I put in a text alert or talk to you about, the stock moved away from me, either up or down. In this case, it's starting to run away a little bit to the downside. Let me bring up the chart in the background. See, as I was rambling about this, that happened. So in this case, maybe you roll the strikes down to 116 to 117. Okay. But since it is kind of trading a little bit, maybe we stick with our original 117, 118. Let me go look at the metrics on that one. I'm going to put in an order for 34 at the bottom edge of the range I was liking. And let's just see if we hit on that. Okay, I'm going to fire that one. You can sit here with that, or you can do whatever you want to do. Okay. I will send the lifetime members get this text or this trade immediately. So do the hunters, which is what you're going to get your brief on next Thursday. And then takes about 5-10 minutes for me to send out a text and email alert. So I'll do that in a couple seconds here. Okay. Let me drop a couple lines in here. 115, 116, 17. Amazon likes it's dollarish moves. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Went over by 3 minutes. Last thing I'm going to tell you about that trade is what? I already told you, but 7, 8, 9. If you're looking at a 70, 80, 90% profit on that 36, 33, 32 credit that you take in, close it. 3, 4, 5, or no, I'm sorry, 4, 5, 6. If I'm looking like today, if I can make 40, 50, 60%, let's say you get filled on this and Amazon slams into the close today. If you can make a 40, 50, or 60% profit on a credit spread in a couple hours, take it. Go on, take the money and run. Outside of a day or two, I use 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I covered 3 SOP things today. When to get out for a loss, double the credit that you take in. And when to get out in a day trade, 4, 5, 6. Or when to get out in a couple day trades, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Haven't done that deep of a dive on a credit spread in a while. So there it is for you new solo Amazon members. My apologies for having to go on the road for a couple weeks. No, I'm not going to apologize. That's what I'm doing, man. I'm trying to save lives. I'm never going to apologize for saving lives, but I am going to thank you for your flexibility. What's this currently at? And I think, you know what? I'd snipe if you're looking at an SPX sniper, 36.75.80. I might go snipe over in Susie. Susie, of course, my wife is trading better than I am. I might take a snipe in Susie's account. Yeah, because when something's on a tear, either join it or get out of the way. When we get this kind of half an hour level off, that's usually a bridge. So, all right, guys, good stuff. Hey, real quick, for all the solo Amazon folks that are new underneath member content, go to the Ready Room. The Ready Room is a great. I get an email. I think Goose gets an email. I think Bart gets an email whenever there's a new post in here. So if you have any questions, concerns, oh by the ways, you know, in between briefs, if you're a solo Amazon member, get in here and post it. This hasn't been that active lately, mainly because I haven't brought it up lately. So let me put the link in here right now. If you have a question for me and you're not in the Hunters or the Max Afterburner, post it in here. I get an alert on my phone and I can log in on my phone and, you know, answer your question. This is a great resource if you're not in the Hunters or not in the Max Afterburner. It's kind of the junior place, but it goes through phases, like really active and then people forget about it. I don't, but I forget to brief you about it. Okay, I'm good. Looks like, did I get filled on that? All right, I'm going to send out an email and I'm going to grab this right here and send out a text alert to the solo Amazon list. You should get a text and an email in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then the replay will be posted shortly on the solo Amazon page over here, and I'm going to post it, okay? Keep an eye out for Sliders podcast. Make sure you register. I'll post this in here again if you came in late. Gary, that's what I mean when I say that's what I say when I say I'm going to do a sniper shot. That's a day trade on SPX. Okay. So in the chat box right now is the registration link to sign up for the Max Afterburners and the Hunters brief. Okay. All right, guys. Good session. Going to be a great week, man. It's always a great week. It's always a great day. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge and fights on. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on the primary brief. Cheers.